Okay, today we're discussing percentage of change. So first of all, what does that mean? Well, percentage of change is the percent something increases or decreases from its original amount. So you have a quantity and that you start with, and it increases. So what is that percent that it increases? Okay, so a farmer buys a herd of 11 cattle. After a year, he counts his herd and now has 13 heads. And by the way, heads is not correct. Let's cross that off, because if you ask a cattleman, he'll just say 13 head of cattle in his herd. What percentage increase did he have to his herd the first year? So let's see. He started with 11 and it increased to 13. So we take 13 minus 11 and we get 2. So it increased by 2. So then what percentage was that? Well, let's take that 2 and let's put that over what he started with, 11. And if we want to solve this using proportion, we would say that equals, see, the 11 was the 100% he started with. The 100% he started with. So what do we not know? We do not know the percentage that the 2 is. So we can solve this using cross multiplication. So 2 times 100, 2 times 100 equals 11x. 11x. All right, so then that simplifies to 200 equals 11x. And we can get x alone. What's happening is it's being multiplied by 11, so we do the opposite. We divide by 11, and what you do to the one side of the equals, you must do the other side of the equals. So we divide the 200 by 11. And I'm going to use my calculator for that. So let's just plug that in. 200 divided by 11 equals. All right, and notice we get a decimal, 18.1818, so that's a repeat. And so these cancel, they become 1. That left x alone. And then, like I said, 200 divided by 11 was 18.18, and it keeps repeating, so I put the little repeat line over the 2 numbers that keep repeating. So, but it asks us what percentage, so why don't we round that? So x, and let's do the wavy equals for approximately equal to. The 1 makes this round to 18, or basically stay the same. So it was about 18% increase. Now, is there another way to solve this problem? Well, let's try this other way. Let's just take 2 divided by 11, and what does that equal? Well, let's set it up. 11 goes into 2. I'm going to put my decimal here, my decimal here. It can't go into 2, so I put a 0 there. Add a 0 here. How many times can 11 go into 20? Once. Okay, so we subtract 11 from 20, and we get 9. And hold on a minute. What am I doing? I didn't borrow. Okay, so let's just do that over. Sometimes it's hard under a camera. Okay, so 9. I knew that didn't look right. So 11 from 20 is 9. Add my 0, and 11 goes into 90 8 times, so that's 88. We have a remainder of 2. So you can see that's going to keep repeating. And so it's the same repeat that we saw from solving it this way. The 1/8 keeps repeating. So notice we've got a decimal, and when you have a decimal, if you move it twice to the right, you find your percent. So it's approximately equal to 18%. So you can either solve this problem setting it up using proportion, using cross multiplication, solving for your unknown x, or you can say the 2 divided by 11, set it up with 2 in the house, 11 outside the house. You'll get a decimal. You move the decimal twice, and that gives you your percentage. So there's 2 methods for solving this problem. Well, let's look at another one. Okay. This time, instead of percent increase, this is percent decrease. A boy compares how far his snail crawls in 1 hour on 2 different days. He crawled 3 feet 5 inches the first day and 2 feet 11 inches the second day. What percent decrease is the distance traveled on the second day from the first day? Well, we find our difference, but in this case, before we can find our difference, we've got to change. We've got 2 units of measure going on here. We've got feet and inches, so we need to change it all to 1 unit. I'm going to change it to inches. So first of all, I need to just change my 3 feet. I put that over a 1, so that's 3 over a 1, and I multiply it by my conversion factor. So what am I getting rid of? I'm getting rid of feet. So the first thing I'm going to concern myself with is my unit. And since I'm going to get rid of feet, I have to put my feet diagonal to that so that they can cross cancel. Now, what am I going to? Inches. Now that I've got it set up with my units, let's do the numbers. Okay, so 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. All right, now you see how your feet cross cancel? And 3 feet, so we're done with our feet. 3 times 12, that's going to equal 36 inches. Okay, and 1 times 1 is 1. So that's 36 inches. And we're going to add the 36 inches plus the 5 inches. It was 3 feet 5 inches, so we add those together and we'll end up with 41 inches. You can do this for inches, or you can write IN as an abbreviation for inches. Okay, now we also need to change our 2 feet. So we have 2 feet to 1, and we already know our conversion factor, 12 inches to 1 foot. So 12 inches to 1 foot, feet cross cancel, and so then we get 24 inches over 1. So we'll add our 24 plus the 11, and that's going to be, let's see, so 4 and 1 is 5, and 1 and 2 is 3, so that's 35 inches. Okay. As I said, it's kind of hard to do this under a camera. Now, that's only part of solving this problem. All right, now we've got to find our difference. And so this is how far he traveled the first day. This is how far he traveled the second day. Maybe he wore himself out the first day. I don't know. But we'll take the 41 minus the 35. And I'll do my math right this time. Okay, so 5 from 11 is 6, and 3 from 3 is 0. So it was a 6-inch change. A 6-inch change. So let's see. We have to find out the percent of change for that. So let me just pause this. Okay, so now I need to find my percent of change. So it changed 6 inches is how much it changed. And it was a decrease. He went further the first day. So, again, I can set it up using proportion, and I take my 6 inches of change, and I need to put that over what I started with. And in this case, it was the larger number this time. So I started with, he went 41 inches in the beginning, and so he changed 6 inches. And so what we don't know is what percentage that was. So we put the percent over 100%. The 41 is the 100% he started with. And again, we can use cross multiplication. 6 times 100 equals 41x. All right, so that's 600 equals 41x. And I'll use my calculator again because I need to do the opposite of what's happening to x to get x alone. I'll divide it by 41 since it's being multiplied by 41. I'll divide the 600 by 41. 600 divided by 41. Let's get that so you can see it. Equals 14.634. Okay, and it goes on. So it is, x is alone, because those cancel and become 1. And this is 14 point, and I'm going to round it to the 100th place, 0.63. So make that my wavy equal, so approximately equal to 14.63. So my percentage is about, x is about 15% change. Okay, and remember the other way of solving this would be 6 over 41, the amount of change over the original amount. And so we can do it this way as well, divided by 41. Okay, and 41 can't go into 6, so that's a 0. And can 41 go into 60? Yes, it goes in one time. And we subtract, and we get a 19, add a 0. 41 can go into 190. Well, it can go in 6 times. 41 times 6, we get, oh, excuse me, no it can't. It can go in 4 times. 4 times, excuse me. So 41 times 4. All right, what do we get? 164. Okay, and we subtract that, and I borrow from that, and we've got 26 left over. Okay, so how many times can 41 go into 260? Well, I think that's 6 times. So let's try that. 41 times 6. That's 246. That's a 6. So you can see here, this is another way of solving it. And so I'm going to stop right there because I'm going to round to the 100th spot. That will be approximately 0.15, which is approximately equal to 15%. So you can either solve it using this method here, which is just the amount change divided by the total original amount, or you can solve it with proportion. Amount change over the original amount equals the unknown percent change over 100. Okay, so you have some practice problems today. Let's get started.